I gave birth 2 weeks ago. This is my positive birth story as a first-time mom. I had a lot of fears going into giving birth, especially with everything that's portrayed in the movies and in the media, and so many of my fears didn't even happen. I read a bunch of books while I was pregnant that really, really helped, and the two that helped the most was hypnobirthing, which I'll put a picture here, and Labor of Love. That was also an amazing book, and it gave labor from a Jewish perspective. I was exactly 39 weeks when I gave birth, and because I'm a first-time mom, everyone kept telling me I was going to be late, and I ended up giving birth a week early. So it happened on a Monday night. I started getting these like period cramp type feelings in my stomach, and I was like, I don't think it's labor because I'd had them on and off, and I was like, it's either dehydration or it's just the pressure of the baby like on my pelvis. So I didn't actually think I was in labor. So this is throughout Monday night. I'm falling asleep, I'm waking up. It just kind of feels like period cramps, but it's like coming and going. So that's all through Monday night. Tuesday morning, I wake up and it's still kind of the same achy period cramp type feeling. I said to my husband, I think I might be in labor, but I'm not sure. This was around 9 a.m. Tuesday morning. He's working 10 minutes down the street. And so he said, why don't I go to work? And if it gets more intense, you call me and I'll come home. So I said, good plan. He goes to work, and from like 9 to 10 and then 10 to 11, I'm still getting these on and off period cramp type feelings. So I have this contraction timer app on my phone and I start timing them. And they were like 7 minutes apart. And I was like, okay, the fact it's coming and going, I think I'm actually in labor. But I was still in denial because everybody told me I was going to have back pain and I felt nothing in my back. I literally did not feel anything in my back. So I was like, I can't actually be in labor. Around 12, so around noon, they were about 5 minutes apart, but they still weren't that intense. So the app is telling me to go to the hospital because it's like once it's 4 or 5 minutes apart, you should head to the hospital. And I was like, I don't really feel like I need to go yet though. So I called my husband and I was like, hey, like the app's telling me to go to the hospital. I'm going to call my doula and we should go. And he was like, okay. So we get in the car and things start to get a little bit more intense. The thing about the contractions is they literally only last 1 minute and then it completely went away. Any pain, I wouldn't even call it pain. It was just like intense cramp. I'd have it for 1 minute and then it would completely go away. And then it would come back for 1 minute and then it would completely go away. I had a lot of positive affirmations I was telling myself, like, I can do anything for 1 minute. Hashem is holding my hand. Every contraction is one contraction closer to meeting my baby. I was so done being pregnant. I was like ready to give birth. I was like, I'm over this. We get to the hospital around 1 p.m. and I get there and I check in and now I have to kind of breathe through them. So before it was like manageable just to sit with it, but then now it's at the point where I just need to like take some deep breaths and I was able to get through it. My doula comes and I could not have given birth without a doula. She was amazing. I 10 out of 10 recommend. I don't know how anybody gives birth without a doula. She was incredible. So we're in the hospital and she's squeezing my hips. She's helping me breathe through it. And this goes on from like 1 p.m. to 4. And they're getting a bit more intense, but it was still manageable. Like it really was not that bad. So I kept telling myself, I don't actually think I'm in labor. When I got to the hospital, they checked me and they said I was 5 centimeters dilated and 80% effaced. So I was already halfway done. I think around 4 p.m., I don't really remember the timeline. They broke my water because my water hadn't broken. So they broke my waters and that was actually the most amazing feeling. It was such relief. It was like all this pressure out. 10 out of 10 recommend. That was great. And yeah, it was like still manageable. Wasn't that bad. And then I threw up a couple times, but only because it was like intense for a minute and then all the pain would go away and my body didn't know how to react to that. So I would just throw up, but I was throwing up my whole pregnancy. So it wasn't anything like new. I was not sat down at all. I could not sit down. I was leaning over the hospital bed and I was like swaying my hips. I was swaying back and forth. I tried a bunch of different positions and that was the one that felt the most comfortable for me. Sometimes I'd have one leg up on the bed and one leg on the ground and just letting gravity do all the work. I would try to really relax my body because when you tense up, it hurts a lot more. So the more I was like relaxing and breathing through it, the easier it was. And it the whole time wasn't even as bad as I kept thinking it was going to be. And everyone was telling me because I'm a first-time mom, labor could take up to 3 days. It could take forever. So I thought I had a long way to go. Around 5:30, I had a few just back-to-back really intense contractions and the breathing wasn't helping and the hip squeezes weren't helping. And up until this point, it was like manageable. And so I said, okay, now I'll get the epidural because I don't know how much longer I have. So they come in like 10 minutes later. I think this was around like 5:45. They give me the epidural. I have it for about 5 minutes and they check me and they're like, "Okay, mama, time to push." And I was like, "What? Like, I just got the epidural. I just got it. This is not fair." So around 6 p.m., I start pushing and she was born at 6:12. I literally pushed her out in like 10 minutes and then there she was, and it was the most special moment. And so I was only in like proper labor for like 5 hours, and the rest of it was just like period cramps. Like, it was so manageable and so doable. I would give birth 100% over going through the first trimester of pregnancy again. The first trimester was so traumatic, and birth and like labor was actually not even that bad. It was really only like 20 minutes that it was hard. The rest of it, with my doula, with the breathing, was 100% manageable. The moment they put that baby on your chest, it's like, oh my goodness, it is the most incredible feeling, and it's so worth every second.